What's up, everybody, and welcome to Game On Improve Your Health podcast. This week's episode journey is sponsored by. No, it's brought
being guided by.
Yeah.
Who's guiding it?
Me.
Your host, me, and you.
Woo!
Austin J, or hallucinodream, if you know him from the gaming community, and
me, his lovely wife.
Me,
Christina.
Or the warden,
Christina.
the serious warden. If you know her from the gaming community, which will be very soon. She loves horror games, by the way. Anyways, tonight's episode, Journey Podcast, and I'm saying tonight, but you can see the sun's out.
That's why I was trying to cover for us and say this week.
That's right. And for those who are listening, the sun's out. The episode is on hydration. Oh yeah, thank you for listening. As you can see and hear, we are in a different location again.
We'll be in a different location next week.
We will as well be in a different location next week.
And then the week
after that, we will be actually in a different location. And after that, we won't. And then we'll have a couple weeks span when we'll be back. And then we'll be in a different location, I think.
Probably.
As a matter of fact, I don't think we're going to be able to even do that one. Because the internet is going to be non-existent. So, we're going to have to pre-record that one. Sorry, everybody. Anyways, this week's episode, Journey podcast episode, is on hydration and the importance of hydration. And we want to talk about this because I see and hear a lot of people talk about, the things that they drink, and it's not water. A lot of times it's not water, and I've seen more and more people say that they don't drink water at all during the day, and that is, okay, if you don't care that your cognitive function is, and your hormone regulation and everything that's going on in your body really is probably suffering, so I feel like we should talk about that. I also want to bring our experiences into the play, which some people might not even realize that, after hearing our experiences and us correlating it to the lack of drinking water that day, you might hear this and be like, wow, as a matter of fact, that actually happens to me
quite often.
Yeah, and that could actually be one of the contributing factors. So first we'll go into, we'll just get chit-chat a little bit about it, what we think. So we're going to let Christina take over a little bit here, so she chit-chats. Well, I talk, and now it's your turn.
Okay. So, yes,
So,
water.
how does it make you feel on days that you don't drink enough? What happens?
I definitely notice that I feel more tired. I tend to get a headache, and I won't even sometimes notice it that day. It will be the day after. So, I'll feel the effects of not drinking water today, tomorrow. So, when I wake up, I'll feel groggy, I'll get a headache, and I, normally will feel, just really thirsty.
Yeah, I would say one of the telltale signs for me is exactly that the second day, but it's my mouth is very dry. I can tell that I drink enough water the day before because my mouth is dry.
Yeah.
And, if you don't know that feeling, it's this feeling. And you're just like, and that's a pretty telltale sign for me. Feeling groggy is 100% it. I always get a headache if I don't drink enough water. And it's not just it's a different kind of headache. Yeah. You can tell from the normal headache.
Yeah, it's not it's almost just a dull, just
yeah. It's kind of like an alarm going off in your brain.
Yeah.
And it's just if you're not used to knowing that, it's probably because of the lack of water.
It's almost like you wake up with a hangover.
Yeah, almost.
That's that feeling of and I think a lot of it is because obviously drinking really dehydrates you. So I think it's kind of that same feeling of you wake up, you feel groggy, and you just kind of have a dull headache.
Yeah, and I don't think people understand, or not understand, but realize that, I just lost my train of thought. What did you just see right before that?
Hangover, hydration, headache, dull.
Oh, the alcohol. I'm not sure how many people really know that alcohol does dehydrate you that much. But that's an actual thing. So if you're drinking, and I want to throw it out there that if you are one of those people who, or if, let's say you're somebody who drinks and you're like, I'm not going to drink water because I don't want it to negate the effects of the alcohol. That's not going to happen.
That's not happening. Yeah.
Yeah. So if someone says, hey, you can reduce your hangover, this is anecdotal. I'm not sure if there's very many studies on this.
I think there are, but
controlled studies with alcohol. I have to look that up. I don't know if. I would imagine they probably do have those, right? Because they do it with controlled substances, right?
Anyway, yeah.
Anyway, so it does dehydrate. And if somebody says, hey, you can reduce your hangover the next day, or you can prolong how long it takes you to get tipsy so you don't go overboard very fast, whatever it may be. And they say, drink some water in between, or drink 1 or 2 beers, whatever it is, and then drink a 8-ounce, 10-ounce glass of water, which you're not going to measure, but just a glass of water.
Yeah.
And then you're like, no, I'm not going to do that because then I won't, get drunk like I want to, or I won't get tipsy, or I won't feel the effects, whatever it may be. That's not true. You're going to feel the effects regardless. Yeah. But it's just a matter of rehydrating your body, which will help regulating more stuff and make you feel a little better, and then you're not going to wake up feeling nearly as bad, even if it's just the water that you add in. Yep. So I just want to throw that out there. I'm not sure how many people maybe don't know that fact, but that actually alcohol really does. Another thing with alcohol too, I just want to throw this out there. It is 7 calories. 7 calories per gram. Sorry, and
minimum, right?
Yeah. Well, so yeah. My brain is fried for some reason. Anyways, it's 7 calories per gram. Of which, it's liquid, but that's a lot of calories, okay? Just to put it in perspective, when you eat carbohydrates, it's 4 calories per gram. Protein is 4 calories per gram, and fats are 9. So alcohol, if people were wondering, actually that has quite a bit of calories, and those are empty calories. Your body's not utilizing them. I just want to throw that out there. Not the best way to fill up either. Yeah. But we're on hydration.
Hydration, yeah.
I just want to throw that out there. Knowledge that people might not understand and might not know. Yeah, 7 calories is a lot.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. I always say I would rather eat than drink. I like to eat my calories. I get more satisfaction out of them most of the time. And one thing that really helped me, just from like not that men don't struggle with like acne and skin issues, but drinking a glass of water, which I'm actually thinking, oh my god, I totally didn't do that this morning. But normally before I get up, I drink water in my sleep.
While I'm still sleeping, I make sure I get that glass of water in.
Before I drink my coffee, I will drink a glass of water. I normally just fill up like a big cup of like ice water, and there are things to be said about warm water versus ice water. I cannot drink warm water anymore after having our daughter. She like legit ruined me. For some reason it just like I need cold water.
You should listen to our mindset episode.
I know, whatever.
That's part of the mindset. You'll be able to overcome that obstacle. You should listen to our obstacle episode.
Anyway, so I'll drink cold water versus warm water. As long as you're drinking water.
Yeah, if you're drinking water.
Doesn't matter. So I'll try to drink water. And normally what helps me do that is, one, I like to keep fasted for a certain period of time. And I like to, when I'm driving to work, I don't want to drink like my coffee. Because sometimes I'll put protein in it. Most of the time I'll put protein in it. Or I'll like make myself a latte or something, so that won't break my fast. So I'll just drink my water on my way to work, and then by the time I get to work, then I can start drinking my coffee. But if you look up, almost anywhere will tell you drink like 6 or 8 ounces of water when you wake up, because your body needs it from the night before. And then it also really helps your skin. Like, if you are struggling with acne, one of the best things that you can do is start drinking water, and start drinking it right when you wake up. I've done it, and I've seen,
Excuse me.
Once I started once I started fasting and making like drinking water a priority in the morning, I have greatly seen a change in my skin.
Yeah, that's half the reason why I wanted to do this episode, was because it's the little things like drinking water that have some very positive impacts on many aspects of life, and I just feel like not as many people know what the benefits are of drinking water.
And I feel like a lot of people will tell you, like, oh yeah, like for healthy hair, skin, and nails, like you should drink, like make sure you drink water, but like I've actually done it, and it really does. It really does make a difference.
One thing being told it and hearing it, and it's another actually doing it and experiencing it.
And then seeing the difference yourself.
So
and again, then you'll be able to notice the times when you don't drink water.
You'll be able to notice, because you'll start feeling, groggy and everything we just said before.
Any other benefits you want to go over before we do like tips on, hey, if you don't drink a lot of water, here are some tips to start drinking water?
Well, you were just talking about tips, so I'm gonna add on to your tip as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess that's a tip. Just like
that was a tip. Drink water right in the morning, which is what I do as well. And I learned that it's a good way. Drinking a glass of water will boost your metabolism. Will kickstart it. Really, it'll just basically wake your whole body up, start the hormones to move around properly in your body, and will give you a boost of energy. I mean, it's like an energy boost. And it's nothing like caffeine's going to do, right? But if you're not used to drinking the water and then you start drinking the water, you will notice that you will actually have some. So if you wake up in the morning and you have a glass of water next to your bed, which we always have water bottles.
That's why I didn't drink my water this morning, because I left it downstairs.
Awkward. And you drink some of that water even before you get out of bed. And then you get out of bed, you'll notice that it won't be as hard to get out of bed the day that you drink the water, because you have drank that water.
So we fill our waters the night before, so like we make sure that we have like a full thing of water, and obviously maybe we'll drink a little bit before we go to bed, but then we still have a decent amount when we wake up in the morning, so then we can just drink it right away instead of having to like go downstairs and then get water.
Yeah, generally people have nightstands next to their bed or somewhere, or a ledge or anything that they can put a glass of water. No.
Or if you just have like a water bottle that can close, you can toss it on the floor.
Yeah. A water bottle would probably be preferred, especially if you have animals that knock things over. Maybe a water bottle would be your best bet.
Or children that like to grab things.
Or children. That's right. Yeah. Ours likes to drop ours on our face. So that's fun. And
then another tip, especially if you're a big soda drinker, sparkling water is really good to try to wean yourself into drinking less soda and drinking more water. One, because it has that carbonation, it has a little bit of flavor, but and make sure you find the ones that are, a lot of them are 0 calories, like 0 everything, but there are some that have sodium in them. And then there are some that do have like calories in them. So just make sure you're paying attention to that. Because then obviously it's not just water, it's water with added.
I mean, if you're weaning off of soda, any of them will definitely benefit you. But let's also, the ones without calories, they have hidden ingredients in there. So definitely check the ingredient list. Make sure there's no, because regardless if they say there's calories or not, they might have sugar compensating for that. Or a different added, some kind of added sugar in there, which they won't even list because it's, quote unquote, I don't know, under the standards to need to be listed, whatever.
But yeah, so like a lot of, is it club soda? Or
I think club soda is the one that's calorie free.
Then what's the other one? Club soda.
I don't know. Sparkling water.
No,
club soda.
There's seltzer, and then there's like club soda.
I'm pretty sure seltzer is the one that has more
sodium.
More added stuff.
So like one of them like normally will have like 400 milligrams of sodium.
Yeah, we could, don't quote us on this. And we could be wrong. I haven't looked at the labels on these specifically because I don't really.
But there are some that do have.
Just make sure you check the label.
Yeah, that have sodium in them.
Yeah. And sodium
which is like
isn't
a
the
weird
worst.
thing to me, which like I never would have thought to check that.
Sodium isn't the worst for you. I think it's for the taste. I think it's to make it so it's not super bland.
Sodium salt?
And people
So it's
put
just
salt
like
in their
salt
food for
water?
taste, right? People put salt in
disgusting.
food for taste. Well, if
That's
you add it with
weird.
other stuff, it helps. Whatever. I'm not like
Or-
a biologist. I don't know all that.
Or if you don't want to spend the money on like sparkling water, because it can get pricey, always doing that. You can just do regular water and get like limes or lemon or like fruit.
That's true, some fruit, yeah.
They have like those water bottles with like the fruit infusers. So like it's like almost like this little net in the middle. You can shove fruit in there and then fill up your water bottle and it will kind of like infuse it for you, just to give it a little bit of a better flavor. And then you know it's all natural flavoring
Yeah.
because you're doing it yourself. And you know, a bag of limes or lemons or even frozen fruit. So like I like my water cold, so like put some frozen fruit in there because then it kind of combos. That's a lot cheaper than constantly buying like water bottles or cans. It's also better for the environment because you're reusing.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also better for the environment because you are reusing a water bottle instead of constantly getting plastic or aluminum.
True. Environmental safety.
Yep. So
there's some tips from us. I don't know what just happened to my throat. What?
you should drink some water, clear that
I
throat.
should, yeah. I'm going to drink soda instead. I'm just kidding. I haven't drank soda in like 10 years. So you want to go over benefits? Let's go over. We just went over some benefits.
Mhm.
So the regulation of hormones, and then the skin,
Mhm.
helping your skin. It'll definitely give you some energy if you're starting to feel drowsy throughout the day. It's a possibility. It's related to the lack of water that you're intaking. But what is most concerning, this is why I wanted to really do this episode, is people might not understand what negative effects it can bring. Is so like the cons of not drinking very much water, and this will affect you. And I'm going to say this is going to affect you. I specifically wanted to say this for cognitive performance. I am a hound for cognition, which I am not expressing very well in this episode. And some episodes I don't. Probably lack of water, and among other things. But for the people playing video games, especially those who want to play competitively, some of these negative influences of lack of water are going to heavily impact your game. And so I wanted to enlighten people on what those could possibly be. And one of the biggest ones, like I just said, is cognitive function. It's the lack of water is, and this has been studied and researched and proven. It will start lowering your cognitive ability, your decision making, just how fast your mind is able to react to things. If you're feeling groggy and unable to make the proper decisions, or you're struggling on doing projects at work, maybe that really in the past similar projects haven't been so difficult, it could just be a lack of water. And we're not talking just that day. It could be recurring. Right? It could be a buildup. I know there's several days that especially during the winter, there's another reason why I want to say this, is during the winter people drink less water because it's cold. And you got to make sure that you try to drink water. But cognitive function delays, your reaction time will start delaying, which is very bad for playing video games. If your reaction time is starting to delay and somebody enters your screen and you need to click on them, and you're using a mouse and keyboard or whatever, or a controller, and your reaction time is delayed, and that person they're not delayed, the person playing on the other screen, they're probably going to take you down, right? And those seconds matter in video games. And people, and this is mainly why it's a concern to me, is I've seen so many people recently just in front of their games while they're streaming, doing this and that. They're drinking all these high octane energy drinks and all this and all that, and very rarely do you see people drinking water. Just drinking water though, and I'm not saying the whole time, you just don't see them drinking water. And that to me is a concern, because and people might not understand that you might you might come to me and say, oh, I perform great at work and I don't drink water, or I perform very well in these video games. I'm, one of the top tier players and I don't drink very much water, during the day. Well, that may be true, but the capacity of your skill is actually being limited because of the lack of water. So how good would you actually be if you started drinking more water on a daily basis, right? And that's something people might not be thinking about because it's not that known. People aren't talking about it.
Yeah,
right?
And so just because you're good doesn't mean that you can't get better. And
that's
it's like,
right.
What's the worst thing that happens? You just try it and see if you improve.
Yeah.
Also, one thing I want to talk about is with it being, because you brought up the winter. So with it getting colder out, getting into winter sickness, right? So it's going to get into flu season, colds. Obviously, there's still new variants of COVID coming out. Hydrating when you are sick is like key to flush out your system. And so like making sure that even when you're sick, or especially when you're sick, that you're staying hydrated. Like I felt like I felt like I was gonna get sick yesterday, and I just drank a ton of water and vitamin C, and like now I feel so much better. So just making sure that you're drinking a lot of water.
You definitely want to drink water when you're... So, disclaimer quickly, she says she was drinking vitamin C. We don't want people thinking that you need to drink a bunch of vitamin C when you're starting to feel sick and stuff. That will start having negative effects as well. You have to monitor. If you drink one of those vitamin C packets, whatever they may be, drink one of them. Okay?
Yeah.
Don't go drinking. Don't drink one and then be like 4 hours later, oh man, I still don't feel good. I'm gonna drink another one. Yeah. And then do that another 4 hours.
I also know myself. Like I know that I don't get a ton of vitamin C on a regular basis. I do take a vitamin that has it, but again, it's only like 50 or 60% of your.
We need a lot of greens.
That's true. I guess.
But yeah,
anyway, it was like it was a good boost for me. And again, I think a lot of it's mental. So like I think it was a mental like boost of like, hey, I'm gonna drink vitamin C, I'm gonna be fine, I'm not gonna get sick. So
the mind is very powerful.
Yeah. But
that
yeah,
is a good
water
benefit,
water is key when you are dealing with a cold or any type of flu or other sickness. Something that I like to do when especially like when I have a sore throat or something, but I still know I need to drink water. Sometimes like cold water, like I literally dread drinking it when I'm sick because of how bad my throat hurts. So I will like do warm water. So like I'll like make like hot water with lemon and like honey. So I'm still drinking water. I'm not drinking like a tea or anything like that that's going to dehydrate me. But then it's kind of soothing, but then I'm still getting the water that I need.
Yeah, so you can always add stuff to your water.
Yeah.
Preferably natural fruits, or honey is a good one too because it's a natural sweetener.
Yep.
And that's a good benefit. Water helps to regulate your immune system too. So your body is a very large part water, right? So if you're not getting the amount of water, your body's going to struggle to move all these different proteins and hormones and proteins and fats and carbohydrates where they need to go, and regulate your immune system and do everything that it needs to do, because it's at a lack of water, which is where the headache comes from, the grogginess comes from, because your body's just starting to unable to be able to keep up. It will also start impairing your physical performance if you are working out, running. If you're not drinking water, and that's why you see a lot of people at the gyms carrying around water bottles, because the more you sweat, the more nutrients you lose, right? And the more tired you will get if you don't replenish that. Plus, it'll start causing negative effects in your body. But, it's important for that too. So every aspect of life is just staying hydrated important. And if I saw this too, is, and this goes hand in hand with what I've said earlier, is I see people saying that they don't drink very much water, or people saying that they are staying hydrated because they're drinking Gatorade or drinking all these other sports drinks, whatever it may be, or they do drink those energy drinks while playing video games. That's not staying hydrated, because all the stuff that's added into that doesn't actually help hydrate you. Mm-hmm. So that is a myth that needs to be debunked and pushed out the window. And when you need to have if you're drinking all this stuff and that's what you want to do, I don't condone that, but that's fine. But what you need to really pay attention to is if you're drinking water in between that. So I do drink energy drinks, I drink coffee, I drink a lot of caffeinated drinks, and I do drink seltzer to try to combat that. We have a whole episode on all of this, so you can go back and listen. And in between all of that, I make sure that I get water in between that. And I try to, when I was working, I used a whole gallon, and every time I would go to my truck, I would drink. Mm-hmm. And now I try to use my daughter as a cue, so whenever she drinks, which she drinks an absolute ton.
She does drink.
I try to drink.
She even wakes up, and it's funny, like, a lot of times, like, you don't think, like, oh yeah, like, just like when you're thirsty in the morning, like, your children are also going to be thirsty in the morning. So, like, she'll see my water, and she's like, oh, Wawa, Wawa, Wawa. And she wants water.
She's really just saying she wants to go to Wawa.
Yeah.
Get some chocolate.
She wants water.
And then she chugs it. She chugs that water.
And then she's, she
takes huge breaths, and then she starts chugging away again.
Yep. So it's super important for them, for you. And again, if you're a parent, you are setting, I feel like we cannot say this enough, of like everything that we do, we are building, like, we're giving her the building blocks for her life. And so what we do,
to build good habits.
Yeah, and so like what we do is going to become her norm. And so if we are drinking water, maintaining a good health and wellness routine, then that's just going to be ingrained in her. And again, she can do whatever she wants in her life when she gets older, but she's going to have these...
To an extent.
Yeah. But, she's going to have these really good building blocks that we've supplied for her. So, and a lot of times she probably won't even know that they're just ingrained. Like, she'll wake up and she'll drink water, and she won't know why. It's just because that's what we do, So.
Well, she's gonna know why, but
you don't really have to teach. Older,
you don't really have to teach your kids why. It's just a good habit forming. Mm-hmm. But so there's some pros and cons of staying hydrated and different forms of hydration, which is water, and obviously you can get hydrated from other ones, but try to add water. Our biggest tip is try to drink some more water, and if you're one of those people who drinks a bunch of drinks, coffee is fine, energy drinks are fine in moderation, if that's what you want to drink. Gatorade's even fine, very high in sugar, but drink some water in between all that. Mm-hmm. So, anything else before we wrap up the episode?
I don't think so.
Well, I think that's we're going to wrap up the episode. Thank you for tuning in. Those who did, over here on your left, which Christina very nicely is pointing at, is all of our links. They will also be in the description of the video and in the podcast platform episode descriptions. Mm-hmm. You can find me on mine. My descriptions will be there, or my stuff. And yeah, so let's see when the next episode is. I totally remember. It's going to be Wednesday, the 8th of September. At 9 p.m. Eastern on Twitch and YouTube. Thank you for tuning in, and hope to see you guys. Oh, if you have any questions, by all means. If you have any questions on anything you heard, submit them, and we will answer them next week. So, thanks for tuning in, and see you in next week's episode.
Bye.